The urinary system. First, what is the urinary system? So the urinary system, also known as the renal system or urinary tract, consists of the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and the urethra. The purpose of the urinary system is to eliminate waste from the body, regulate blood volume and blood pressure. It controls the levels of electrolytes and metabolites and regulate blood pH. Trace the flow of plasma or blood through the arteries, nephrons, and veins. Oxygenated blood comes to the kidneys from the right and left renal arteries of the abdominal aorta. The oxygenated blood leaves the kidneys via the right and left renal veins that run into the inferior vena cava. The kidneys are highly complicated. Inside each kidney, the renal arteries branch into smaller and smaller parts until they make contact with the core structural and functional units of the kidneys, called the nephrons. The nephrons include tiny coiled tubes of capillaries and their associated tubules. Each kidney has approximately 1 million of them. The nephrons regulate waste, water, and other materials in the blood and urine to adjust the body's changing needs. First, let us discuss what is a glomerulus. The glomerulus is a network of capillaries surrounded by a cup-like structure, the glomerular capsule or Bowman's capsule. As blood flows through the glomerulus, blood pressure pushes water and solutes from the capillaries into the capsule through filtration membrane. This glomerular filtration begins the urine formation process. In the first step, inside the glomerulus, blood pressure pushes fluid from capillaries into the glomerular capsule through a specialized layer of cells. This layer, the filtration membrane, allows water and small solutes to pass but blocks blood cells and large proteins. Those components remain in the bloodstream. The filtrate, or the fluid that has passed through the membrane, flows through the glomerular capsule further into the nephron. In the second step, the glomerulus filters water and small solutes out of the bloodstream. The resulting filtrate contains waste but also other substances the body needs, like for example essential ions, glucose, amino acids, and smaller proteins. When the filtrate exits the glomerulus, it flows into a duct in the nephron called the renal tubule. As it moves, the needed substances and some water are reabsorbed through the tube wall into adjacent capillaries. This reabsorption of vital nutrients from the filtrate is the second step in urine creation. And in the third step, the filtrate absorbed in the glomerulus flows through the renal tubule, where nutrients and water are reabsorbed into capillaries. At the same time, waste ions and hydrogen ion pass from the capillaries into the renal tubule. This process is called secretion. The secreted ions combine with the remaining filtrate and become urine. The urine flows out the nephron tubule into a collecting duct. It passes out of the kidney through the renal pelvis into the ureter and down to the bladder. So the product of this process is the urine. So the nephrons of the kidneys, the, the nephrons of the kidneys process blood and create urine through a process of filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. Urine is about 95% water and 5% waste products. Nitrogenous waste excreted in urine include urea, creatinine, ammonia, and uric acid. Ions such as sodium, potassium, hydrogen, and calcium are also excreted. So the three major mechanisms of pH regulation are buffer system, respiratory regulation, and renal regulation. These three mechanisms work together to keep body pH within that narrow range. The buffer systems functioning in blood plasma include plasma proteins, phosphate, and bicarbonate and carbonic acid buffers. The kidneys help control acid-base balance by excreting hydrogen ions and generating bicarbonate that helps maintain blood plasma pH within the normal range. So first, what is an acidosis and alkalosis? So they are both described as an abnormal condition that result from an imbalance in the pH of the blood caused by an excess of acid or alkali. This imbalance is typically caused by some underlying condition or disease. An acute metabolic acidosis may also cause an increased rate and depth of breathing, confusion, and headaches, and it can lead to seizures, coma, and in some cases, death. Symptoms of alkalosis are often due to associated potassium loss and may include irritability, weakness, and muscle cramping.